There is a forest in the sea, an amber glade haunted by countless creatures, both strange and wonderful. Here, sea lions dance in shadows cast by towering golden fronds, while other creatures find sanctuary deep in an undersea cathedral. In the wake of winter storms, kelp washes ashore, covering California's beaches in decaying heaps. But these drifts of dying kelp are more than pungent piles of beach litter. This is the fallen timber of an undersea forest, a hidden cathedral few will ever see. Along California's coast, forests of living kelp plants tower majestically. Supported by small gas-filled bladders at the base of each leaf-like blade, the kelp grows to the surface from depths greater than 100 feet. On the ocean floor, a root-like structure called a holdfast anchors plant to reef. And the dense tangle provides shelter for many small and timid animals. Other kelp forest inhabitants are less inhibited. This bright orange fish is a Garibaldi. The circular yellow patch on this rock is his nest, and it's full of tiny yellow eggs. Maintaining a clean nest and caring for the eggs is the male's responsibility. Constant attention helps keep his eggs healthy. But there is another reason for such fastidious behavior. A well-groomed nest, combined with personal good looks, can be irresistible to females. There's one now. Her erect fins indicate that she's a lady on the prowl. The male beckons, performing courtship loops and clucking provocatively. Invitation accepted, the female enters his nest and begins laying eggs adjacent to those left by the male's earlier conquests. Romance ends suddenly. She will begin eating eggs if allowed to stay. Now the male resumes his duties. First, he fertilizes his new eggs. Sea urchins are slow-moving scavengers. They may eat his eggs if not dealt with sternly. The Garibaldi drops the urchin 30 feet from his nest, making certain that the urchin enjoys a long walk before becoming a problem again. His chores done, the Garibaldi takes some time for himself and engages the services of a senorita fish. The senorita gives the Garibaldi a thorough cleaning, making sure that he is well groomed and ready for the next female that passes by. Another male Garibaldi has been less triumphant with the fairer sex. His nest of dark red algae is empty of eggs. And his luck is getting worse. His nest is about to be invaded by an octopus. The octopus is an accidental trespasser. He has no idea why he is treated with such fierce hostility. But he's definitely had enough. He decides to leave, but only after first issuing his own final insult. The octopus has chosen a dangerous place to land. This is the den of a moray eel. The octopus escapes, but not before losing one of his 8 legs. The octopus leg retains the tenacity of its owner and will not be swallowed easily. A harbor seal has spotted the commotion. The wounded octopus could regenerate a new leg if he lives long enough. Harbor seals are casual predators in the kelp forest. Certainly they will snap up an octopus when they can, but most of their diet is squid, which they find by diving deep, sometimes more than 1,000 feet, in the open sea beyond the forest. For them, the kelp forest is a vacation sanctuary, and the crashing surf a playground. Harbor seals rest easily after a morning of raucous play. They bask in the afternoon sun, warming their thick fur coats and dozing to a symphony of wind and waves. The sea otter can afford little time for basking in the summer sun. He must spend most of his day combing the kelp forest for food. He scours the rocks for any crabs or mollusks he can find, then takes his catch to the surface to eat. He must eat quite a lot. In fact, the sea otter must eat 30% of his own weight in food each day. It takes a lot of energy to stay warm in these cold waters. But there is still time left for play, and the kelp forest is an otter's playground. Then, when it's time to rest, the kelp canopy becomes the sea otter's waterbed. Sleepy otters roll in the kelp, tangling themselves in amber fronds, then fall asleep without worry of drifting away. Sea lions also enjoy an afternoon nap, raising their flippers to capture the sun's warmth. But for sea lions, naps are only brief respites from a life seemingly devoted to play. They seem to thrive on recreation. Indeed, few animals are more gregarious or easily entertained. Life seems easy for sea lions. There's time aplenty for practicing acrobatics or for a comforting massage. Nothing can be excluded as an object of play. A sea cucumber may not taste very good, but it makes a nice toy and balances easily on one's nose. At the seaward edge of the kelp forest, a sandy plain slopes away into deep water. Strange creatures lay hidden beneath the colorless surface. A 10-inch long mantis shrimp. He's uncovered the opening to his burrow because it's time for dinner. A cluster of mussels is growing nearby. The mantis shrimp uses an incredibly powerful hammer-like claw to break off a mussel from the cluster. Back in his comfortable den, the shrimp smashes the mussel shell with his amazing claw, breaking it into smaller, more manageable pieces. Then, complicated mouthparts collaborate in scraping the tender meat from the shell. Lunch is interrupted by the approach of a deadly enemy. But the mantis shrimp is a formidable prey. His display is a warning to the octopus. Don't mess with me. The mantis shrimp will not be taken without a fight. He charges from his den and strikes the octopus in the eye. Outside his den, the mantis shrimp is in little danger. But the octopus must be driven away before it's safe to go home. A third blow, and the octopus has had enough. Now, it should be safe to return to his burrow. Nearby, a pike blenny is looking for a new home. Normally, he would be comfortable in an abandoned worm tube, but this is much better. An old piece of steel pipe. But there's a problem. The other pipe is already occupied, and pike blennies make poor neighbors. Still, anything is better than being homeless. The new neighbor is greeted with a casual insult. Two can play this game. But unfortunately, the current is going the wrong way. Another insult from the old resident is more than can be tolerated. This means war. In these non-violent displays, the fish with the biggest mouth usually wins. But these pike blennies are equally matched, and neither will move. So they'll just have to embrace each other as neighbors, like it or not. A bat ray glides through the amber glade, embarking on an annual pilgrimage. She is joined by dozens of others, and soon their numbers grow into hundreds as they approach a mysterious rendezvous. Now, in the blue twilight at the edge of the kelp forest, they begin an ancient dance. It's a courtship ballet, and soon females and males pair off, breaking free of the swirling school. Gliding over the sandy plain, the smaller male approaches the larger female from below. He then caresses her stomach with his back. Courtship on the wing. Afterwards, each returns to the twilight dance. The dance continues through the night. In the morning, hundreds of exhausted bat rays descend drunkenly to their beds in the sand. Now, nothing exceeds the appeal of dreamless slumber. And soon, the entire school is fast asleep. The first winter storm rages against the beaches of California. The fury penetrates deep below the surface, playing havoc in the kelp forest. Entire forests are torn free of their holdfasts and swept away. In the storm's wake, large tangles of kelp drift through the open sea. But even now, the forest is vital to the lives of its inhabitants. As it dies, the kelp forest serves as a vehicle for new generations of life. The forest has become a traveling nursery, transporting baby fish and invertebrates to new homes where they will colonize new kelp forests. And the drifting kelp is a meeting place for other species as well. This strange 6-foot-long leviathan is a mola mola, or ocean sunfish. He has come to the drifting forest for companionship. His heads-up posture is an invitation to a school of half-moon perch. Soon, the perch gather around the mola, gently pecking at its tough hide to remove small parasites. But now it is time to leave. The drifting forest approaches its destination, and so the mola breaks free, returning to the deep sea. Thousands of juvenile fish drop away to find new homes. Finally, the kelp forest washes ashore, becoming the pungent heaps that litter California's winter beaches. This is both the end of the story and the beginning. Spring skies will warm the cool waters, and new forests will take root. Soon, amber canopies will cover these waters once again, becoming new cathedrals in the sea.